Welcome again, Wildcats. So today we're looking at Wednesday, October 11th, Formulate Systems Equations. That's on page 18. Okay. Now a little note on Wednesday, October 11th, is that's when the PSAT is. Okay. Now I know that's going to affect some of you, and specifically my first and third period. So I'll explain how some adjustments we can do with that throughout the video. Okay. So if you would pause the video and update the table of contents. All right, now your table of contents are updated. Let's take a look at our notes. All right, so we're on page 18, and we're formulate systems of equations. Okay, step is to formulate and solve a system. Okay, step 1, define the variables. Step 2, write the equations. Step 3, solve the system. And step 4, explain the solution in sentence form. So if you would, pause the video and update your notes. All right, now your notes are updated. Let's take a look at the examples. Now, because my first and third period are going to be affected by the PSAT, I'm actually going to go over all the examples in the video, okay? All right, so example number 1, okay? It says, write and solve the system of equations. The larger of the two numbers is 20 less than 3 times the smaller number. The sum of the numbers is 24. Find the numbers. All right, so the first step is to find the variable. So let's do that here, okay? And I'm only going to write it once in here, define variables. You might do this above each box just to remind yourself, define variables. Okay? All right, so the two variables we have, let's just call x is the large number and y equals a small number. All right, and let me get a ruler and I'll be right back. All right, so we've defined the variables. Next step is write the equation. So here, we're going to write the equations. And again, I'm only going to do this once, labeling, like define variables equations, but you might just do that throughout the assignment, okay? All right, so the equations. The larger number of the two numbers is, so the x is 20 less. Now 20 less means actually minus 20, and 3 times the smaller. So that's 3 times the smaller number minus 20, okay? And then the second equation, the sum of the numbers, that means you add them, is 24. So x plus y equals 24. All right, so you've done step 1, or we've done step 1, define the variable. Step 2, we've written the equations. Now we're going to solve. So at this point, you need to look, and you probably want to look at your notes from yesterday, is which one are we going to use, elimination of substitution. In this case, we see that one variable is solved for, so it's the best method would be to solve by substitution. Okay, so when we're solving by substitution, we make a table. So x equals 3y minus 20, and x plus y equals 24. So we see that x equals this, 3y minus 20, so we're going to substitute that in for x. So we get 3y minus 20 plus, I'm going to put a 1y there, equals 24. Okay, now step 3, solve this. So we're solving the system. So in that solving, we combine like terms. 3y and 1y is 4y minus 20 equals 24. We add 20 to both sides, so we get 4y equals 24, or 44. Divide both sides by 4, y equals 11. All right, and then step 4, or no, we're still in step 3. We're solving. All right, so then we substitute 11 in for y, so you get x equals 3 times 11 minus 20. Well, 3 times 11 is 33, minus 20 is 13. Now we're into the last step. Explain the solution in sentence form. Okay, so that's what this box is for. All right, so we want to say that we know that x is a large number, so the large number is 13 and the small number is 11. All right, so let me see if I can get all this on the screen. If you want to pause for a moment and update example 1. All right, example 2. A geometry teacher has a set of 60 plastic pentagons and octagons. He hoped to notice that all the figures together had a total of 354 sides. How many of each shape are there? So step 1, define the variables. So let's call x is the number of pentagons, and y is the number of octagons. All right, step 2, write the equation. So it says the teacher has a set of 60 plastic pentagons. So that means you have a total. So that's x plus y equals 60. Now it says he happened to notice that all the figures together had a total of 354 sides. Well, we know pentagons have 5 sides, so that's 5x, plus octagons have 8 sides, so it's 8y, and that equals 354 sides. Notice sides go with sides. Okay. Now at this point, we're going to solve the system. Well, in this case, we don't have one variable solved for, and we see that x and y are both on the left side. So elimination is going to be our best method. Okay. So let's multiply the top equation by -5. So we get negative 5x minus 5y equals negative 300. And then we just rewrite the second equation. All right, so the x's cancel, you're left with 3y equals 54. And 54 divided by 3 is 18. So y equals 18. All right, now we substitute 18 into either equation. Now notice I'm going back to the originals. I'm going to go back to the first one because it looks simple because there's no numbers in front of x and y. So 18 is y, so you get x plus 18 equals 60. Subtract 18 from both sides, x equals 42. All right, now at this point, you're going to write your sentence. So there are 42 pentagons and 18 octagons. Don't forget, this is going to be in step. You'll lose points on an assignment or quiz or test if you don't write the sentence, okay? All right, so let me let you pause for a moment and update example 2. All right, let's look at example 3. All right, a group of sophomore students leaves the high school without permission to go to lunch at Taco Bell. If a student buys 2 burritos and 5 tacos, his bill will be $19.50. If another student buys 5 burritos and 2 tacos, his bill will be $22.50. Find the price of each taco and each burrito. All right, so define the variables. So let's let B equal the number, or no, wait, the cost, the price of a burrito. There you go. Price of a burrito. Okay, and let's let T equal the price of a taco. All right, so let's look at the sentence. It says a group of sophomore students, that's just telling us that they're leaving the class without permission, or school without permission. Bad Wildcat students. If a student buys 2 burritos, so that's 2B and is plus 5 tacos equals 1950. Now, if another student buys 5 burritos plus 2 tacos, that equals 2250. All right, and at this point when solving, we want to see if we're going to use substitution elimination. In this case, both variables on the left, so we probably want to use elimination. So I think eliminating you don't have to do, you can pick either one. I just always like eliminating the first variable. So here, if we multiply 5 times 2, we get 10, and 2 times 5, we get 10. So let's multiply the first equation by 5 and the second equation by -2. Now, the reason why I'm using -2 is so that they'll cancel, okay? And that's the easy way to find what number to multiply. Just use these. So use 5 here, 2 here, and then that's an easy way to see what numbers. Okay, because if you multiply these together, you get the same number. So multiply. So 5 times 2 is 10b plus 5 times 5 is 25. T equals 5 times 1950 is 9750. -2 times 5 is -10b. And then -2 times 2 is a -4t. And then -2 times 2050 is 45, -45. All right, we add, or in this case, subtract vertically. So that cancels. Then you get 21t equals 5250. Divide both sides by 21. A taco at Taco Bell costs $2.50. All right, now at this point, it really doesn't matter which one we plug it into, but I'm just going to do the first one. So I'm going to plug in 250 for T and solve for B. So that's 2B plus 5 times 250 equals 1950. So now we're going to solve for B. So you get 2B plus 5 times 250 is 1250 equals 1950. Subtract 1250 from both sides, you get 2B equals 7. Divide by 2B equals 350. So a little short lesson note, just get the $5 box, because at $2.50 a taco and $3.50 a burrito, if I do the math, you get, in a box, you get a burrito, and right now you get a burrito and 2 tacos. That's like, it's like a $10, it would cost you $10 if you get the box as 5. That's a good deal at Taco Bell. So get the box. And I think right now you can win an Xbox. How awesome would that be? All right. So let's see. All right. So now we have to write a sentence. So a taco is $2.50, and a burrito is $3.50. Now, the sentences don't have to be elaborate. They just have to state so that it shows you know what the numbers represent. Okay. All right. So if you would go ahead and just look over and finish up example 3. Now this video is going to be longer, but again, I have to take into account that I won't see first and third period. So I won't see you first and third period. You might not see me because you'll probably be in PSAT. Okay. But I will say for first and third, I'm available in the morning and afternoon. So the day you take the PSAT, I'll be available in tutorials that afternoon, and I'll be available the next day that morning before class. So if you have questions about any of these problems, come see me, okay? All right. Example 4. Mr. Luke has hidden 575 quarters and nickels in his classroom. The quarters and nickels amount to $83.75. How many quarters and nickels has Mr. Luke hidden in his classroom? All right. So step 1, define the variables. So Q is the number of quarters. And N is the number of nickels. All right, so now to write the equation. So 575 sounds like a total. So we're going to do Q plus N equals 575. Okay. Now we know that quarters are 25 cents, so that's 0.25 Q plus nickels are 5 cents equals $83.75. And you could do it this way, but here's a nifty way to work this problem. Convert everything to pennies. Watch this. There's 25 pennies in a quarter, so now we can just make that 25. Okay. There's 5 pennies in a nickel, so that's 5 pennies. And $83.75 is 8,375 pennies. Okay. That's now no decimal. Okay. So now it looks like we have the variables both on the left side, so elimination is probably our best way. So here, if we multiply, I usually multiply the first number, but 25 is a big number. I think -5 would be better, okay? So -5 times Q is -5Q minus 5 times N is 5N. And I don't know what -5 times 575 is, so let me grab a calculator and I'll be right back. Overshot it. All right. Let's see. So let me just calculate this. And if you have a calculator, I mean, you could do that too. But -5 times 575 is -2875. And then we just rewrite the second equation. So that's 25Q plus 5N equals 8375. So we add vertically, so this becomes 20Q. That becomes 0 equals -2875 plus 8375 is 5,500. Divide both sides by 20. The number of quarters Mr. Luke has hidden in a room is 275. All right. All right, so now the next thing is going to substitute that into either equation. I'm going to plug it into the first equation because there's no numbers in front of the Q or N. So Q is 275, so that's 275 plus N equals 575. subtract 275 from both sides. So the number of nickels Mr. Luke is hidden in the room is 300. The bank almost didn't give me the amount of money to hide in my room. Whoa! Sorry, that was a bell. But the bank almost didn't give me enough of the money. But then I showed them the problem, and like, oh, you're actually gonna hide quarters and nickels in your room? Like, yeah. So then they gave me the quarters and nickels. All right. And so the last step is explain the solution in sentence form. So then you can say that there are 275 quarters and 300 nickels hidden in the room. Now, if you're watching this video, don't tell anybody I told you this, but I actually put them in a box and I hid them in the ceiling, and no one's figured out that they're actually hidden in the room. So don't tell anybody, okay? All right, let me give you a minute to update that. All right, now let's look at example 5. A rogue Secret Service agent has stolen Air Force One and is flying at an altitude of 10,000 feet. He begins to descend at a rate of 200 feet per minute. At the same time that the Secret Service agent begins to descend, President Jamie Foxx begins to climb at a rate of 50 feet per minute in a rescue plane. In how many minutes will the plane be at the same altitude? What will the altitude be? All right, so step 1, define the variable. So let's see. This one's a little tricky to figure out, but let's think about this. We have altitude, descend at a rate of 250 feet per minute. At the same time, the Secret Service agent begins to descend. President Jamie Foxx begins to climb at a rate of 50 feet per minute to rescue plane. How many minutes? So minutes is going to be one variable. Let's call that x is a number of minutes plane to be at the same altitude. So y is the altitude in feet. Which I actually wrote this problem when I was watching White House Down 2, which if you think the first one's good, the second one's even better. So after you watch it, after you get done with your notes, I recommend, I think it's free on YouTube, maybe not, or you can buy it on Amazon, but White House Down 2, great movie. Better than the first one. The first one's amazing. All right, so let's look at the equation. So a rogue Secret Service agent has stolen Air Force One and is flying at an altitude of 10,000 feet. He begins to descend at a rate, so we're at 10,000 feet. Descending, that means minus 200 feet per minute. So that's x. And that's going to be your altitude. Okay? At the same time, the Secret Service begins to descend. President Jamie Foxx begins to climb at a rate. So President Jamie Foxx is ascending. So it's 50x equals a new altitude, which, by the way, if Jamie Foxx ever ran for president, I would so vote for Jamie Foxx. He'd be an awesome president, as he showed in White House Down 1 and 2. All right, so vote for Jamie Foxx for president. All right, so now the next part is write the equations, okay, which we did. Now solve the equation. Now it looks like here that they're both solved for y, so we can actually solve by substitution. Now this one's cool. Because they're both equal to y, you can say that they're both equal to each other. So you can actually write 10,000 minus 200x equals 50x. Okay, now we're going to solve. So we're going to add 200x to both sides. So you get 10,000 equals 250x. And then we divide 250 by both sides. is 40. So x equals 40. All right, so now we substitute x into either equation. It looks like the second one's easier. So we're going to have 50 times 40 equals y. So 50 times 40 is 2,000 equals y. All right. So now to answer the question, we go back in here. It says, how many minutes will the plane, and this should actually be planes, be at the same altitude? Okay. So the planes will be at the same altitude after 40 minutes, or in 40 minutes, not after, in 40 minutes. All right, so with that, just remember, some of you are taking the PSAT on Wednesday. I'll be administering it. And so first and third period, we won't see each other to go over this. So do the best you can on the assignment. Just know if you have questions, I can help you in tutorials after school that day and before school the next day, and if in class if need to be. Okay. And then sixth period, I'll just see you in class. Okay. Which I think, and I'm sorry, first and third period, but because we won't see each other. But sixth period, I'll show you the White House Down 2 trailer. It's an awesome movie. But if you can't wait, just like I said, go on Amazon, buy White House Down 2. It's an amazing movie. So with that, have a wonderful Wildcat day and vote Jimmy Fox for president.